5-number summary. So this is from section 2.5 in your book, Measures of Position. And one of the important graphs that you see a lot of places is the box and whisker plot. So we're going to talk about what 5 numbers go in the box and whisker plot. That's what makes up the 5-number summary, and how to calculate it. So I've got some fake test scores here. And so I'm going to go ahead and rewrite them in my own little oh, look, I changed colors there accidentally. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite those in my own little list here. So if you'll bear with me. I guess this gives you time to write them in your notes if you're doing so. I know I've mentioned it before, but I'm going to mention it again while I'm writing. My advice is always watch each video at the very least twice. Watch one of them while you're taking notes, and then you have to watch it a second time while you're not taking notes. That's the only way your brain can soak stuff in. Otherwise, your brain is only concentrating on copying the information. Okay, so I have all those numbers written there. Hopefully I didn't forget one. And we're going to write the 5-number summary. The 5-number summary consists of the following information. The minimum, that's the lowest number. That's easy. Just 43 for this example. Q1, which is the number that signifies the end of the first quarter or first 25% of the data. So in other words, it's a fourth of the way through the data, the first quartile. So we're going to find Q1. The second quartile, that means the second quarter, the end of the second quarter, or the 50% mark, which is, we know it better known as the median, but we also call that QT. That's the end of the second quartile. And then there's Q3, that's the 75% mark. That represents the end of 75% of all the data. And then you have the maximum, again in this list, that would be 100. Minimum's the highest, maximum's the lowest. And then you have these Q1, Q2, and Q3. So we're going to break this list into quartiles. Quart, the root word meaning 4. And the way to do that is we start actually with the median. We don't start with Q1, we start with the median, because we already know how to find that. That's not new for us. So that's what we're going to do first. Let me see how many numbers I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 12 numbers, which means I have to find the middle 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it's those two. I'm just making sure I have the middle. There are 5 numbers to the left and 5 numbers to the right. I want the midpoint of those 2 numbers. Oh, by the way, you have to make sure your numbers are in order before you do this. I just happen to give you the test grades in numerical order, but always check for that. So the midpoint of these 2 is 89. So that's my median. That's Q2. I can go ahead and write that down as my median. Now what I want you to do is this. You're going to separate the data now into 2 halves. So I have my median is 89. That means I have 88 and below. All of that is the lower half of the data. And everything above my median is the upper half. Okay, so I've separated my data into 2 halves, lower half and upper half. Now, Q1 is the median of the lower half. So I'm just finding median again, which I already know how to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 numbers. So I have to find the middle 2. So 82 and 85 are my middle 2. I take the median of 82 and 85, and I get 83.5. So Q1 is 83.5. That's the median of the lower half. Now I've got to find the median of the upper half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I knew that. So I take the middle 2. Coincidentally, the middle 2 are the same number. The midpoint between 96 and 96 is 96. So Q3 is 96. Ooh, wrong color. We've got to be consistent. So that's 96. So, and then I've got my minimum and my maximum. Now remember, if you have an odd number of data, then one of your data points will be the median, and then make sure, don't include that number in either your lower or the upper half. If it's a median, it's the median. It can't be included in either or. So keep that in mind. Now, the graph of this, the graph of the 5-number summary is called a box and whisker plot. So I'm just going to shrink this to give myself a little bit more room. The box and whisker plot involves a number line, first and foremost. Your number line needs to include the entire list in there. And generally, you've got to evenly space that. Not generally, you do. You have to evenly space your number line. I'm going to go by tens, which means I have to start at 40. So don't start at 43 because that's not an even 10. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Try to evenly space it as best as possible. So I start with just drawing a basic number line. I'm going to label down here. 90, 100. Your graph will then float above it. I call it a floaty graph. So you're not going to put your box and whisker plot on the line. You're going to float it above it. And so first things first, the minimum, I'm going to estimate where 43 is. It's halfway between 40 and 50. My 50 looks kind of wonky. So I'm going to estimate about where that is and then put a dot above about where 43 on the number line is. That dot is going to represent my minimum. I'm going to do the same for maximum on about the same level. You know, imagine that you're going to draw a string through those lines, those dots, excuse me. That's my minimum and maximum. Now, Q1 through Q3 are going to create the box of the box and whisker plot. I should write that here. Box and whiskers. Plot or graph. So they're going to create the box of the box and whisker plot. All right, I'm gonna let me just. It's kind of messy. Oh, sorry, it's kind of messy in here. I'm gonna create these kind of obnoxiously large those dots so I can see them again. Okay, Q1 is 83.5. That means the left side of my box is gonna be about 83.5. So about where I would find 83 on the number line is where that line will be. Median is at 89. I'm gonna draw a line about where median would be above the number line. And 96, so I'm going to estimate about where 96 is. And those three numbers make up my box. So I'm going to kind of make a rectangle with those. Notice that Q2, the median, will be inside the box. It's not equally spaced. There's nothing equally spaced about it, obviously. That box is squished all the way over close to the maximum. And your median will not always be the perfect center of that box. It just depends on how your numbers are. And the last thing you want to do is connect your whiskers to the box. So my, I wonder if it'll let me erase this. Yes. Oh, well, part of it will. So I'm going to just redraw the 100 dot there. So connect your dots to it, and that's your box and whisker plot. I want to let you know how this can be interpreted. So each one of these sections represents 25% of the data. That means 3 of my numbers, or 25% of my list of 12, fall within this little space in this line. 25% of all the data. 25% falls in this little section right here, from Q1 to Q2. 25% falls in this section. That means in this list of 12, that means 3 of the numbers fall in that. And then 25% falls here. Lots of standardized data and lots of medical research will give you box and whisker plots. It's a good quick look at where are the middle half, where are the outliers, where's the lowest 25% and the upper 25%. So that's how to create 5-number summary and the box and how to draw the box and whisker plot from it.